Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gabby. Today we're going to be starting on Summerween Day 5. So if you're newer to my channel and you don't know, Summerween is a spooky readathon that I host annually in the month of July usually. And the whole goal of this readathon is to bring the spooky Halloween vibes into summertime. If you missed the two vlogs that I posted earlier this week, I will have them linked down in the description below, but we are starting on Day 5 and this vlog should include Days 5, 6, and 7. I still have so much reading that I want to do over these next 3 days. I feel like this readathon is flying by. You know what's so wild is that usually by Day 5 of the readathon, that's when I really always feel like I'm starting to hit a wall, but I'm really not hitting a wall yet. Like, I don't know, I still feel like I can go for so long. Last night I didn't end up reading anything. I actually just had a really chill night with my sister. I made a very bland dinner of like some chicken and white rice. Like the chicken was unseasoned. It was the most unseasoned, bland chicken I've ever had in my life. But you know, I've been dealing with a weird GERD flare up recently, so like I can't really risk anything right now more than that. And this morning, once again, I just had a very plain bowl of oatmeal and a banana for breakfast. But I think the plan for today is to start on Bad Taurus. I think this is the next book that I want to read. And I looked online and I think this book actually just published today on July 9th. So I was able to download the audiobook from Libro, which is perfect. And you know what's so crazy that I just learned this morning is that this author, Carol Carver, I was like, have I heard of this author before? And I haven't heard of this author before because this is the first book published under this name. But what I realized when I opened it, right here on the front page, it says also by Carol Carver, and then it says also CJ Cook. And I was like, wait a second, what do you mean? And I flipped to the back and it says that this author is CJ Cook, but she's just writing under a different pen name. It says she also publishes gothic thrillers under the name CJ Cook. And I was like, did anybody else realize that this is CJ Cook? And that's like so freaking cool because if you didn't know, CJ Cook is the author of The Nesting, which is like one of my favorite like gothic thriller horror type of books. So the fact that she wrote this has me extra intrigued. I always wonder why authors choose to write under a pen name when they're writing like in the same genre basically. I'm like, what is the reason? I don't really understand, but like very cool to know that this is actually CJ Cook. So like that has me even more excited to read this. I think I'm going to start listening to this one on audio now. And then I'm so excited. In about like an hour and a half, I'm going to be going down to the lake with my friend. And I'm so excited because today is actually supposed to be like one of the hottest days that we've had so far this summer. I mean, it's supposed to get up to like, I don't know, like 93 or 94 today. And like yesterday when we were at the lake, it said it got up to 94 degrees while we were at the lake. So we could be dealing with very similar weather to what we had yesterday. But today is like the last day of our heat wave that we're having here in Washington. I say heat wave like that because I know it's not that hot compared to like some places. Like I know some places in the United States right now are dealing with like extreme heat, like extreme weather. But you know, for Washington, this is pretty hot for us. Like it doesn't often get into the 90s in Washington. It's definitely toasty out there, but it's gonna be the perfect day to go to the lake. Hopefully I can go swimming. I put on like my bathing suit underneath my Summerween shirt. Hopefully we can find a spot by the water and we can actually go swimming in the lake because that would be so fun. It's been so long since I've actually like gone swimming in the lake. I'm gonna be starting on Bad Taurus and then I'm also gonna be taking some photos for the Instagram prompt because I think today's Instagram prompt is to like take a picture of books with black and orange on the cover. So I think I'm gonna do that. We have an Instagram, by the way, that's called @ThisIsSummerWeen, and over there we post like the daily Instagram prompts and we like repost a lot of the people on the stories. It's honestly so much fun. Like every single day of this readathon, I love going through all the Instagram stories on the This Is Summerween Instagram because I just love seeing what everybody's doing in the community. It just really makes it feel like Summerween is something that we're all experiencing together, and it just makes it so much fun. So let's get the day started. Oh, but we all have hats.
Yeah. Oh, true. Okay,
yeah,
you're right.
You're right.
It does look kind of chunky.
My arms look so wide. What the heck?
Just do one arm.
You do it. Cause you're
Yeah, you're on that side.
Oh, on that side. You're like,
wait, this way? Nice. Oh, I was like really off to the side, but I think I can.
my hair's wet.
Wow, that's what happens when you go in the lake.
I know, it feels so good, dude. I haven't swam in a lake in like so fucking long. It's been a long time.
Swim whenever you want.
I know, it feels great. I should do this every day. Bye, lake. Okay, hello. We just got home from the lake and it was so nice. Oh my gosh, I definitely needed that today. I haven't been reading a whole lot today, I will admit, but today has been like the perfect summer day. Oh my gosh, it was so nice out. Sorry if you can hear Tank eating down below, but the reason I wanted to update is because look at what just came in the mail. I literally thought this wasn't supposed to arrive until like Wednesday, which would be tomorrow, but it came early. So book of the month is so cool for that. But I wanted to show you because I got 2 books in this box. I'm so excited because for my pick this month, I got The God of the Woods by Liz Moore, which this is one that I'm so excited to read. This is the same author as Long Bright River, which is like one of my favorite books of all time. And oh my god, this one is fucking thick, dude. Wow, it's like 470 pages? Okay, damn. So very, very excited to read this one soon. And then I also got One Perfect Couple by Ruth Ware. And I was really hoping that this would arrive in time for me to read it for Summerween. So it looks like the universe was on my side with getting this book in my hands in time. So hopefully I can finish up my current read right now. And then hopefully I can jump into this Ruth Ware before the end of this vlog. So very exciting. Thanks to Book of the Month for getting this to me so soon. Yum, some unseasoned chicken and plain white rice for dinner.
So far. I am like not really any of the characters I'm finding likable, but that's fine because in a story like this, I kind of just want everyone to be storyful.
You're making it look like I'm not gonna put out a video today when I am. When you get your shit together. So now, I'm gonna watch this video that is
Hello, it is the end of day 5 of Summerween. It's about 9:30 at night now, and like, oh my goodness, what a busy, crazy day it has been. I had so much fun at the lake today. I was talking about this with Katie and Rachel like while I was at the lake, but I was like, I cannot even remember the last time that I went swimming in like a body of water. Like, it's been so long. It's just not something that I do very often. Like, I do go to the lakes very often in Washington, but I never swim in the lakes very often. Like, it's just not something that I do, and I feel like I should be doing this way more because it was so much fun today, and it was just so relaxing and like very much needed. I really needed to just like get out in the sun for a couple of hours, you know? I'm really glad that I didn't end up getting any sunburn today, which I feel like is a record, you know, because I was out there for probably like 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. And the fact that I did not get any sunburn, I mean, I did put on like a lot of sunscreen before, but still I was nervous, you know, because I'm the kind of person that gets sunburnt very easily. I was catching up on Summerween vlogs because I've been watching so many Summerween vlogs. I also wanted to let you know that I am going to be making a Summerween 2024 playlist that's going to have tons of Summerween content from so many different creators that I've been watching throughout the week. So if you want more Summerween content in your life, I will have that linked down below. But I did want to update you because I have been laying in bed reading Bad Taurus, and now I just hit page 102, and I'm so sorry to come in here with this update, but I feel like this one might actually be a DNF for me. Like, I am not having a fun time with this, and I'm actually so bored out of my mind at 100 pages into this book. So something that I think is really like difficult about this book right away is that we get introduced to so many characters right out the gate. So we have our main 3 characters, which are Kate, Camila, and Darcy, but then we also get introduced to Jacob, Jade, Rob, Natasha, and then something that's really confusing is that there's this character that's name is Fraser in the book, but on the audiobook they're referring to him as Finnegan. And I'm like, what is up with that? Like, it is so bizarre to me when like the finished physical book has so many changes from the audiobook. So in the audiobook they call this character one name, and then in the actual book they call him a different name. Like, I'm sorry, that just makes shit extra confusing for like no reason. And I'm just so bummed because at 100 pages in, I am so uninvested. Like, there's not a single character in this book that I even care about or can even like remember who they are. I feel like they all kind of read very similarly. And the premise of this book is that these 3 women are gonna be going on this trip, you know, to the Maldives because one of them is getting a divorce and they're basically going to like celebrate the divorce. But then you also find out that these characters are like, they're all connected by this like very mysterious past. And so you're starting to wonder if like the past is going to eventually catch up to them. Guess that's like the mystery thriller aspect of this book. But honestly, like at 100 pages in, I feel like nothing's really happened. And even if things start happening, I just don't really care at this point. You know, like it's just the writing is just not grabbing me. I don't know. I think I'm DNFing it for now. I don't know if I'll come back to this one eventually. I mean, I have the audiobook on Libro now. So like if I do want to come back to it eventually, I have the audiobook, but I just don't want to put myself into a reading slump trying to read something like this, especially during a readathon. So that's going to be a DNF, which is unfortunate. But you know, the great thing is that the Book of the Month box got here sooner than I thought that it would. So maybe tomorrow I can start on the new Ruth Ware, you know, like that's very exciting because that's been one that I've been looking forward to reading all week long. Also, as far as an update on like my whole GERD situation and everything, well, first of all, I just wanted to say thank you so much to everybody who's been like reaching out, either saying like you can relate because you also have GERD, or just like, you know, giving general advice, which I really do appreciate. I mean, I've had GERD now for like 12 years, and I can tell you that I have tried and tested like everything there probably is. I mean, I have been medicated daily. Like, I take my omeprazole pill daily ever since 2021. I've been on that shit for a while. And like, I do all of the tricks, you know, like I've had a GERD pillow ever since 2021 that kind of like lifts your head. I follow all the different rules. I never eat that close to bed. I avoid spicy foods. You know, like I do all of the things that you're supposed to do with GERD. So like, I don't know why this flare up just feels exceptionally bad, but something that I didn't know, and thank you to my friend Samantha on Instagram for DMing me about this, is that there's this one called Pepcid Complete, and this one is recommended to take instead of Tums, because basically what I was doing every time that I finished eating, I would just take Tums, which is like an antacid, you know, like Tums are supposed to be good for like sour stomachs and like antacid, but apparently this Pepcid Complete, it's supposed to be even better than Tums because it has like the same ingredients as Tums, but it also has famotidine in here, which is an acid reducer, and famotidine is something that I actually took as a pill that was like from Costco, and that was recommended by my doctor to take both omeprazole and famotidine together in the morning. And this one also has magnesium hydroxide in it, and what's cool about this one is that you only have to take 1 tablet and it's supposed to work for up to like 24 hours. And so I took one tonight. We're gonna see how this goes. I'm really hoping that it goes well tonight because, you know, with Tums you can take like up to 10, and I was just starting to feel like Tums weren't really working for me anymore, like they weren't really doing anything for me. So this one is kind of like supposed to be in replacement of Tums, I think, but you can still take Tums with this, I think. But hopefully this one ends up working out for me. I mean, so far it's only like just before 10 o'clock at night, so like I'm feeling fine so far, but usually I don't start to feel terrible until a little bit later into the night. So like we'll just have to see how things go tonight, but I will update you in the morning to let you know if this stuff is something I can recommend. So thank you to Samantha for letting me know about this. Hello, good morning. I mean, it's not really morning anymore. It's almost noon, but happy day 6 of Summerween. I cannot believe that we're already on day 6. Like, the time is just absolutely flying this week. I wanted to update you because I think I have decided to read One Perfect Couple by Ruth Ware as my next read. I'm so excited. I just downloaded the audiobook off of Libro, and this audiobook is 14 hours and 24 minutes long. Like, it's a pretty long audiobook. I mean, this book is on the lengthier side as well. It's about 380 pages, so that's very exciting. I'm gonna get started on this one today. It's nearly 12 o'clock right now, and I have an appointment with a Toyota dealership to go and take my car in at 2:30. I have about 2 hours of reading time before I have to leave the apartment to go down there. And then also, just as an update with like last night and like taking the Pepcid, I do think that the Pepcid works well, but I think I kind of screwed myself over last night because like last night I barely ate anything, you know, because I'm kind of at that point where like I'm so scared to eat because I know that it's gonna give me acid reflux, and so like I don't even try, like I don't even want to eat. But then I think I like did it a little too much yesterday because like I barely ate anything yesterday, and then when I went to bed I was like starving so much, and I think that was a mistake because I was looking up online like, can being starving also affect your GERD, and it says yes, because if you have nothing in your stomach it can produce acid by itself, like, you know, like your stomach naturally produces acid. did. And so I was like, God, I'm so stupid, because it's like, I feel like GERD is one of those things where it's like, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, because it's like, if I do eat, then I'm afraid it's gonna give me acid reflux, but then if I don't eat, my stomach's gonna produce acid on its own and it's gonna happen anyways. So I feel like tonight I have to give it another fair shot, because I feel like since I didn't really eat anything last night, the Pepcid was probably working, but it probably was just like sitting in my stomach with like no food, so it probably didn't work as well as it could have. So I still did have a little bit of that like heartburn feeling last night, but it wasn't as bad as the previous nights. So today I'm gonna try to eat as normally as I can. I mean normally as in like a normal amount. Like I'm still gonna play it super safe with food today. I mean for breakfast I literally just had like oatmeal and a banana, as I've been having like for this whole week. But I think tonight, maybe on the way home from the Toyota dealership, I might try to go and swing by the store, because I want to get like a rotisserie chicken and like sweet potatoes and like asparagus, because those things always help with my GERD. You know, sweet potatoes is like one of the best things that you can eat for GERD, so I think I need to pick up some of those so that I can actually like have a proper dinner tonight, and then make sure I take the Pepcid after and see if that helps. So that's the plan that nobody asked for and probably nobody cares about, but that's what I'm gonna do. And so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get changed, get ready for the day, and start on One Perfect Couple. Hello, it's about 1:30 and I thought I would update you before I left, because I've been reading One Perfect Couple and I'm already on chapter 9, which puts me at about 112 pages in. And so far, I feel like this has actually been going very well. You know, Ruth Ware is an author that has been very hit or miss for me in the past, but like mostly a miss. The only book that I've ever loved from Ruth Ware is The Turn of the Key. And like everything else has just been either okay or like not really my thing at all. So I was going into this with some pretty low expectations, but I'm actually having a really fun time with this so far. I think the concept for this is really interesting and like really perfect for Summerween, because even though technically this doesn't take place in the summer, it actually said that it was taking place in February, but it takes place in Indonesia. So because it's taking place on an island, it really does feel like it has like the summer vibes to it. And what's fun is that this book is revolving around a reality show called One Perfect Couple. And it's cool because the reality show is described as Love Island meets Survivor, which I think is a really interesting combination of things. But something that I'm liking about the story is that we're only getting one perspective, which actually works out great for me, because I feel like so oftentimes when you get these kind of like reality shows in books, I feel like a lot of authors will try to like give you the perspective of like every single character on the reality show. I start to get confused, or like there's a disconnect when there's just too many characters. So I actually really like only getting the perspective of Lila in this book. And in this story, we're following, you know, our protagonist. Her name is Lila. She's about 32 years old and she's a scientist, but she's dating this guy named Nico, who is an aspiring actor, and so he really wants to get on this show called One Perfect Couple because he really wants to like make it big as an actor, and he feels like this could be his big break, you know, like getting on a reality show. But he like obviously needs her to sign up with him because it's like a dating show, and so she's like a scientist, you know, like she doesn't have any real interest in being on a reality dating show, but she's like, I mean, I want to support him in his dreams, and so she decides to get on this reality show with him. Something that I'm really liking about the writing style so far is that in between the chapters, we'll get these like little clips that are like Lila or like one of the contestants like calling emergency services and being like, help, there's a storm coming and like we're in danger and people are injured and like we need your help. That foreshadowing of like, you know that some shit is going to go down, but they're only giving you like little bits of information about what has happened. So you know that it's like leading up to something, so it's keeping the intrigue there. I feel like as far as like the first 100 pages go, it is a little bit slow so far, like not much has happened, but I actually really like the writing so far. I'm really connecting to Lila as a main character so far. I also just love the discussion about like reality TV shows in general, you know, because I do tend to watch a lot of like game reality shows. It was really cool. On page 67, they mentioned The Traitors, which is so cool. Like that's one of my favorite reality shows. They also mentioned Big Brother, which is another one of my favorites. They mentioned Love Island and Selling Sunset. Like very cool to see so many different reality shows being talked about and like the difference between the reality shows. And they're already doing like the typical things of like a reality show where they're like, you can't have your phone or like any any technology on you, so like they don't have any devices, like they have no connection to the outside world, which does make for such a fun premise for a thriller, you know, because then shit can really hit the fan if nobody has access to the outside world. I'm really liking the setup of this so far. I'm liking the characters. I feel like this one is easy to listen to on audio because, you know, we're only following from the perspective of Lila, so like it makes it so much easier to just listen to this on audio. And I'm really liking the audiobook too because it's narrated by that audiobook narrator named Imogen Church, and she's the one who has narrated like all of Ruth Ware's audiobooks. Her voice is just so relaxing. Like I really love her as an audiobook narrator. I decided to curl my hair just because, you know, I washed my hair last night after getting home from the lake and I was like, I mean, I might as well do something with it. So I curled my hair and now I'm going to get ready to go down to the Toyota dealership. My dad's actually gonna meet me there just in case I need to like leave my car there because I don't know how serious of an issue this is gonna be. You know, like I just had the check engine light come on and like I checked my gas cap, I checked my oil thing. I don't think it's related to like needing an oil change because I just got my oil change pretty recently and I'm like nervous because like my car is a pretty new car. So like I don't understand why it would be giving me any of these issues. So like let's hope that it's nothing serious and that it's a quick fix and that whatever's wrong with it, I hope that they can fix it today. I'm probably gonna bring my book with me even though I don't know if I'm gonna get to read a lot while I'm at the dealership because my dad's gonna be meeting me there. But I will be listening to this on audio on the way there and then hopefully on the way back home if I can bring my car back. Hi, hello, it is now 4:30 in the afternoon, and I have good news and bad news though, kind of. I mean, the good news is that with my car, it's nothing serious. I mean, I don't even fucking fully understand like what they said to me. They said it's something with like the radiator, there's like a temperature thing. My car can't regulate its temperature, so there's like risk of the car overheating, I think. I don't know, I had to ask my dad and my dad was trying to explain it to me and I still don't fully understand. And so the good news is that it's an easy fix. They just can't fix it until tomorrow morning because they need to like get a part in to like replace something. So the bad news is that I have to go back tomorrow. I'm leaving my car there overnight, which isn't like the worst thing, but then the bad news is also that it's gonna cost me like $800. Like, ugh, like why are cars so expensive? And why would something like that just randomly stop working? Like that's so frustrating. So I mean, at the end of the day, I'm happy that it was an easy fix because like I really, like I need my car, you know, like I rely on my car so much. So I'm glad to know that this is something that can be taken care of overnight. I'm gonna pick it up tomorrow and then hopefully like that's the end of my car troubles, you know? So like that is a relief in a way. But anyways, I just got home. My dad was so nice enough to drive me home from the dealership and he also offered to drive me tomorrow. But I asked on the way home if we could swing by Safeway because I needed to pick up a few groceries on the way home. And so my dad was so kind. He literally drove me to Safeway and I got to pick up a few little groceries that I needed. And then I also came home to some book mail. Some of this I was expecting and some of this I have no idea what it is. So I thought it would be fun to open it with you. I mean, I don't usually get this much book mail throughout the week. I feel like especially throughout this week of Summerween, I've just been getting a lot of book mail. So this is the one that I ordered myself because this is from Aardvark Book Club. They're kind of like a subscription service, very similar to Book of the Month. But the reason why I ordered a book for the month of July is because they had I Was a Teenage Slasher by Stephen Graham Jones as a pick for this month, and I just had to pick it up, you know, because I'm so excited. I'm actually gonna be reading this for the book troop in the month of August. So like what perfect timing for them to have it as a pick and for me to get my hands on it. Oh, they also sent this cute little card with all of their picks. Dude, look at these picks for the month of July. Like Aardvark has been having some really great picks lately and they've already teased on their Instagram. They already teased one of the books that they're gonna have for the month of August. I think they are gonna have that one book, that horror book by Chuck Tingle, Bury Your Gaze. I think that's gonna be a pick in the month of August. So like you bet I'm gonna be picking up that book from Aardvark. So very excited to finally get my hands on this one. And now what are these two? I have no idea what these are. Let's do this one first. What is it? It's this book called True to You. Is this one a nonfiction that I requested? This one must be one of those nonfiction books that I was interested in because I've been trying to get into more nonfiction this year, so this must be that. What is this one? I definitely forgot that I was getting this one. Oh my god, it's Wilderness Reform. Okay, shit, I definitely forgot that I was getting this. Dude, this would have been perfect to read for Summerween. Are you freaking kidding me? I mean, I know it's not too late. Like, I could always try to read this tomorrow, but oh my god, this is so exciting because this is from the same authors as Old Country, which is a horror book that I really enjoyed when I read it like last year, the year before. Dude, are you kidding me? This cover like screams Summerween, does it not? Wow, that is so stunning. So thank you, Atria, for sending me this one. Oh my god. I'm so excited for this. Like, this has to happen at some point this summer, right? Or maybe I'll save it for October. Ooh! Anyways, there's my cute little book haul. I'm gonna start making some dinner now. I got all that I need from Safeway to make a bland little dinner. I think I'm gonna do like sweet potatoes, but do them mashed. And then I also have the rotisserie chicken, which I can't have the skin of the rotisserie chicken because it's too like fatty for me, but I can have just the chicken. And I do have asparagus. I also got more of these like Nature Valley bars because the Nature Valley bars are actually pretty good for me when I have like a GERD flare up. Like, these don't usually bother me too much. I know that everybody's different. You know, like everybody that has GERD has a different experience. So like, I can't speak for everybody who has GERD, but so far in my experience, these don't bother me. Wheat thins don't bother me. These fruits that are all melons are some of the best fruit that you can have for GERD because they're very low in acid. I've also still been reading One Perfect Couple by Ruth Ware, and I'm still enjoying it. There was something that just happened when I hit part 2 of the book that I was like, oh, I don't know, it kind of went in a direction where I wasn't really expecting, and so now I'm even more invested in what's going on. So anyways, I'm gonna make dinner. I'm gonna continue listening to the Ruth Ware audiobook, and I'll update you with more thoughts when I'm further in. It's much later in the night now. It's like 9:30. I've still been reading a little bit of One Perfect Couple. I got up to chapter 17, which puts me at just 202 pages in. I'm actually doing some reading sprints right now with my friend Katie on YouTube. I'm also joined by Amy, which is really cool because I haven't sprinted with Amy before. I've just been editing this vlog for pretty much like the entirety of the sprints, so I haven't actually been reading too much more of One Perfect Couple. But from what I've been reading so far, I'm still having fun with this. It's still keeping me engaged, keeping me interested. I'm kind of like nervous though at the length of this book because the fact that we're only 51% of the way through the story, and I'm like, what more is gonna happen? I feel like so much has happened already. So I don't know if that's like a good sign or a bad sign, but so far this is looking to be like, it could be like a 4-star read. I'm just nervous that it'll start to feel like it's dragging on too long and then I might want to drop my rating. Like, I don't know. We'll have to see how the rest of this goes. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be reading any more tonight. I do have one last reading sprint right now that I'm doing with Katie and Amy. And then after we wrap up on sprints tonight, I don't know if I'm gonna be in a major reading mood. I might actually just save the rest of this book for tomorrow. And tomorrow's already the last day of Summerween and it should be a really great day. I mean, hopefully I can go and pick up my car from Toyota at like a reasonable time. I'm trying to do Patreon reading sprints tomorrow afternoon to like close out the readathon. So hopefully those can still happen and like the Toyota thing doesn't interfere with me doing reading sprints tomorrow. But it should be no problem finishing this book up tomorrow and I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. Stop, I'm trying to be cool. Welcome to day 7. Let's go. Welcome to day 7 of Summerween. I cannot believe that we're already here on the last day. This whole week has gone by so freaking quickly. I'm going to jump back into One Perfect Couple by Ruth Ware. I'm still sitting here waiting to hear from the Toyota dealership like when I can go and pick up my car. I'm kind of nervous because I'm supposed to be starting Patreon reading sprints in about 3 hours. And you know, this Toyota dealership is a drive. It's like 30-35 minutes away from where I live. So I'm really hoping they can call me soon within the next like hour so that I can go pick up my car. But until then, until I hear from them, I'm just gonna be laying in bed trying to finish One Perfect Couple. Okay, hello. It's almost 5 o'clock at night and it has been such a crazy busy day because, you know, I called the Toyota dealership. I called them at like 12:45 and I was like, hey, just wanted to see if there's an update on my car. And they were like, yeah, we're working on it right now. And they were like, it should only take another hour or so. So I was like, cool. About 45 minutes had gone by and I hadn't heard from them yet. But I was like, okay, Rachel, maybe we should just drive down there because, you know, like I said, the dealership is like 35 minutes away. So I was like, I want to be there when it's ready so that I could just come back home because I was trying to do Patreon reading sprints this afternoon at 3 o'clock. So I was like, I've got shit to do. We get there, we pull up. It's about like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like sitting there waiting to hear from them. And then once it reaches like 2:30 or 2:45, I like call them back and I'm like trying to get through to them and they can't get through to the girl that's like the service desk girl that's supposed to be helping me. And so they're like, oh, well, you said you're here, right? And I was like, yeah, I'm here. I'm calling from the parking lot. And they were like, okay, well, why don't you just come in and like have her, you know, she's gonna be at her desk. She's probably just speaking with a customer right now, whatever. So I was like, okay, cool. And so then I go in there and at this point it's about like almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I told her, I was like, hey, I'm just waiting for my car. Like I heard it'd be ready by now. And she was like, yeah, okay, let me go check. And she was like, it should only be a few minutes. She said they're getting like the air bubbles out of like whatever. I don't know what that means. And so I was like, okay, cool. And at that point it was like 3 o'clock and I was like, oh my God, I'm already running late for my Patreon sprints. But I was like, whatever, like I'll just try to get home as soon as I can. And then I'm literally waiting there for like another 30 minutes, dude. It wasn't until like 3:30 or like just after 3:30 where she finally came over and told me, okay, like we're ready to go. And like she was really nice. Like she ended up giving me a bit of a discount because I was waiting for so fucking long, which was like really cool. Like she didn't have to do that. So I was like really appreciative of that. But then like when I got in my car, I was like, what the hell? Like everything that was like in like the sides compartments of my cars, like everything was all like thrown onto the floor of the passenger seat. Like even the thing that I have on the visor that's like my garage opener for my parents' house, like that thing was like thrown onto the ground. And I was like, what the hell? Like why is everything thrown on the ground? And then I realized that my aux cord was like missing and I was looking around everywhere. Like I checked the trunk, I checked the back seats, I checked under the back seats, like I checked everywhere that it could have been and it's just gone. Like somebody stole my freaking aux cord and I'm so annoyed because I'm like, is it somebody at the dealership who like took my aux cord or like did they leave my car unlocked overnight and like somebody came and rifled through all my shit and like threw everything on the floor and just stole my aux cord? I don't know, dude, but I'm so frustrated that it took so long. It took the whole afternoon. I didn't get home until like just after 4, like maybe 4:10, 4:15, and then I immediately went live on my Patreon reading sprints and I was like, I'm so sorry. Like I'm never late. Like you guys don't understand. I'm never freaking late. I'm the kind of person that is always like 15 minutes ahead of time. Like I'm never late to anything. So like I was really stressed out about being late to the sprints today, but of course everybody on my Patreon is so freaking sweet and they're all so understanding. But like my God, it's been such a stressful day. I'm just glad that my car is like fixed and taken care of and hopefully it doesn't give me any more problems, but like fuck, I have to get a new freaking aux cord. I still have been listening to One Perfect Couple. I don't know exactly like where I'm at in the physical book yet, but on the audiobook it says I'm 87% of the way in. I still have 38 minutes left of this audiobook and I'm getting to the point where I'm like, oh my God, what else could it really happen? Like I'm kind of waiting for the story to wrap up at this point. I feel like I've become a lot less invested in this book ever since part 2, which I know might be the unpopular opinion because I'm sure everybody probably says in their reviews that part 1 is like really slow and really boring, but I actually thought part 1 was really fun because part 1 is a lot about like the dating show and like the couples like getting to know each other and I thought it was really interesting. And I feel like ever since part 1 it's become more of a survival story, and like maybe this is a hot take and like an unpopular opinion, but like I don't love survival stories. Like sometimes they work for me and sometimes they don't. Like sometimes I just find them to be so boring and kind of like repetitive and it's like every single thing is about their survival and like how they're gonna survive and what are you gonna do if this happens, and it's just getting a little bit boring for me right now. So I'm ready for things to wrap up. I'm feeling like now this is starting to feel like more of a 3-star. Like it's just feeling a little bit too long. But anyways, something that really made my day this afternoon is I just got this Amazon package and somebody sent me The Dangerous Convenience Store, which is like so freaking kind. This is volume 1 of a manga series that I'm really interested in reading, but like there's no freaking note in here. So if you sent this, please let me know because I want to thank you personally and that is so kind, and like it really just made my whole day today, you know, because it's been a very, very stressful day. So thank you so much to whoever sent this. Yeah, anyways, I'm just gonna get started on another really bland dinner. I think I'm gonna have the same thing that I had last night, just like the rotisserie chicken, the sweet potatoes, and the asparagus probably. And then I'm going to try to finish listening to One Perfect Couple on audio, and I'm currently doing Patreon reading sprints. So let's wrap up this final night of Summerween. thought I would update you because it's about 7:30 at night. I've still been doing reading sprints on my Patreon. I'm doing the last sprint right now, but I needed to update you because I have read a few different things. So I did end up finishing One Perfect Couple by Ruth Ware, and you know, I'm not that surprised to say that this one ended up being just okay for me. I don't know, I didn't love it, I didn't hate it. It's probably gonna be around a 3-star. I feel like I might have the unpopular opinion where I thought the first half was a lot more fun than the second half. I liked the setup of it more than I ended up enjoying the second half because I feel like for me, the second half just started to really drag, it got really repetitive. And then at the ending of this book, like, I don't even know if you could call that a plot twist at the end of this book. If it is a plot twist, I don't know. But the twist that's at the end of this book, I just feel like it's something that I've seen before. I've read a lot of these kinds of books now where it's like something that involves like a reality show, and oftentimes I feel like that ends up being the plot twist in these books. So I was just kind of disappointed by the ending. Like, it just didn't really give me what I was looking for. It wasn't very satisfying. So this one has to be around a 3-star for me. And once again, I've just proven that Ruth Ware, I just don't know if she's the author for me. I've only given her book The Turn of the Key 5 stars. Like, that's the only 5-star I've ever had from this author, and at this point it feels like it will always be the only 5-star. That's kind of a bummer. But anyways, I also wrapped up the night by reading some manga. I ended up reading Black Paradox, and this is by Junji Ito. I really just wanted to read these because I checked them out of the library just to read during Summerween, so I thought, why not end the night with some manga? Black Paradox is a manga that has such an interesting concept. We're following these 4 characters who these characters meet up with each other because they met on this website that's like a suicide pact website called Black Paradox. And so they all meet each other because they all are going to like die together, essentially. Very quickly, things kind of like shift and the story takes a very bizarre turn. And then the story is really bizarre and like not exactly what you think it's gonna be. I have mixed feelings on this one because I loved the concept in this. Oh my gosh, the concept was so unique and so interesting, but I just don't love the execution of it. I just found myself getting less and less interested like the further that we got in, but at the same time, there was some really graphic and disturbing imagery in this one that is going to stick into my head, especially when it comes to like bodily fluids and like things. Like, there's a lot of scenes of like vomiting and like weird things happening when he's vomiting, like weird objects. And it was just like very gross. It was disgusting, but I just didn't love this one the way that I've loved some of his other stuff. I think this was around a 3-star for me. And then I also read Mimi's Tales of Terror. And this one is really cool because this one's actually a collection of short stories, which I didn't realize. It's 9 different short stories. And all of the stories revolve around this character named Mimi and her boyfriend and like some of the weird things that they've encountered over the years. And according to Junji Ito, it says that these are all based off of things that have really happened. I don't know how true that is, but it was really creepy and I really love, I always say this, but I feel like Junji Ito, for me, I feel like he's so much better at the short story format. I feel like he really thrives in short stories because he's able to like make them so creepy and they're not even that long. But with this one, I had a lot of fun with this one, and there were some stories that were only like 2 pages long. Like, some of them were really short. But I think one of my favorites in this whole collection was one of these first ones called The Woman Next Door. This one, oh my gosh, it was so creepy. I also did end up really liking this one called Seashore. That was another one that really stood out as like something really creepy and really cool. I feel like Junji Ito always has like the coolest concepts, you know? So yeah, I'm probably gonna end up giving this collection 4 stars. I had a good time with it. I thought it was great. All right, so I thought I would do a quick wrap up to wrap up everything that I read for Summerween this year because wow, I feel like I got to a lot this week. I mean, I did have 2 things that I DNF'd this week. I did DNF The Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley. I got about like 35% into this on audio before I decided to DNF. And then I also DNF'd Bad Taurus by Carol Carver, and this is one that I got about 100 pages into before I DNF'd. And then I ended up reading all of this stack. So I read 4 physical books and 4 manga. And out of the 4 manga that I read this week, 3 of them were by Junji Ito, and then I also finally got around to The Summer Hikaru Died. I thought this one was so interesting and so cool, so up my alley. And then I also did really like this one by Junji Ito as well. And then I did end up reading the new books from both Ruth Ware and Paul Tremblay, and both of these ended up being just okay. I think I gave both of these books around 3 stars. But then the real success of Summerween this year was reading books from this author, because reading The Har was a 5-star reading experience. I'm so glad that I found a new favorite this year during Summerween. I love this book. I want to push it on to everybody that I know. I also read The Forgotten Island, and I also really enjoyed this one. Like, I had a fun time with it. I thought it was great. I gave this one 4 stars. So I think it's safe to say that I'm definitely going to be checking out all of the books that this author publishes in the future, and I need to read through some of his backlist because he has a lot of books published. As far as the reading prompts go for this readathon, I did complete all 5 of the reading prompts, I'm pretty sure. Well, one of the reading prompts was to read a thriller or horror book, which I definitely did. I mean, almost all week I've been reading nothing but thriller and horror books, but these 2 specifically I wanted for that prompt. I did end up reading a book in the dark this week. I read this manga in the dark on like one of the first days of the readathon. I did read a book that has 5 words in the title. I read Venus in the Blind Spot for that prompt. And then reading a book with the night sky on the cover. I feel like either one of these would work for a night sky on the cover. And then same with like reading a book that takes place in the summer or has summer vibes. I feel like either one of these would also work for that prompt. I mean, this one technically does take place in February, but because it has like the island atmosphere, it really does feel to me like this one takes place in the summer. And then with our cute little Summerween bingo board, I thought I would show you which ones that I accomplished this week because I'm pretty sure I was able to check off all of them except for a few because I did watch a scary movie this week. I watched Bodies, Bodies, Bodies with my Patreon earlier this week. It was so much fun. One of the ones that I was not able to accomplish was the baking a fall-inspired treat, which is so unfortunate because I had the plans to do it. But unfortunately, because of my like GERD flare-up and like my throat hurting all week, like literally the entire week of Summerween, I wasn't able to bake anything because I can't eat anything right now anyways. So that is truly unfortunate. But I did listen to a spooky Halloween playlist. I've been listening to it in the mornings with my sister when we're like making breakfast. If you want to hear, I do have a cute little like Halloween spooky playlist on Spotify. I'll have it linked down below if you want to listen to it, but it's so fun. It gets me into like the Halloween spirit every single year. And then I did end up reading a book outside when I went to the lake earlier this week. So I feel like that checks off almost all of the bingo board, except for baking the fall treat, which is unfortunate. But yeah, wow, look at this stack. Like, I'm so proud of all that I was able to read this week. It really does suck, you know, that my GERD started acting up on like day 2 of Summerween and that for most of the week I was feeling pretty terrible. And like, I still do feel pretty terrible. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna try to sugarcoat it. I just haven't been doing that well with my GERD, and it sucks that this had to happen during Summerween, but it's also like incredible to see this community come together for Summerween. And I just wanted to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. If you participated in Summerween at all, it is just so cool. I appreciate you so much. And once again, if you missed it from earlier, I will have a playlist linked down below that's gonna have so much Summerween content because, you know, every single time that I open the YouTube app, I see so much different Summerween content. I've been discovering so many new channels because of Summerween content, and it's just so fun. And I feel like it's really something that, you know, brings the community together in a really beautiful way. And that's my favorite thing about Summerween every single year, is just seeing people get really excited about it and participate and do all of the things. It's just so much fun, and I really feel like this readathon connects us in that way. So I will have that playlist linked down below if you're looking to, you know, discover some more creators, if you're looking for some more Summerween content to watch. I know there are a lot of people too that are planning to like extend the readathon into like the next weekend or even like the whole month of July. And like, if you want to do that, like, more power to you. Like, I say go for it. But if you participated in Summerween, I just wanted to say thank you so much. It means the world to me. Your support and your excitement for this readathon literally means the world to me. You know, it's why I'm still doing it. You'll have to let me know if you did participate in Summerween this year. How many books were you able to read this year? What was your favorite book that you read during this week? And once again, a huge shout out to my sister for being such an icon and helping me so much throughout this readathon, because my sister not only designs our beautiful merch that we have for this readathon every year, but she also participates in the music video. You know, she plays the ghost, and then she also helps out a ton on the Summerween Instagram throughout this week. Like, she's basically the one behind the scenes running the Summerween Instagram account, and I appreciate it so much because that Instagram is a lot of fun, but it's also a lot of work to keep up with, you know, everything else that you try to do during a readathon. So thank you to my sister. Thank you to you for watching. And that's a wrap on Summerween 2024. I can't believe it. Thank you so much for all the love and support, and happy Summerween. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.